I'm sorry. What?
Our opening words are by Barbara Kingsolver. Empathy is really the opposite of spiritual meanness. It is the capacity to understand that every war is both won and lost, and that someone else's hurt matters.
As we light our chalice, we share our church covenant. We promise to listen and learn together with compassion, curiosity, and an open mind. Engage in creating a warm and welcoming community, work together beyond our walls to address social and environmental challenges, and with our time, talent, and treasure, support our church and its mission.
Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Church of Hinsdale's virtual service. My name is Paula Cedit Dvorak, and I'm a member of the worship committee leading the service today. Our regular minister, Reverend Pamela Romancic, will be back to lead service next week. Our service this week is about empathy and leadership. I am very happy to have Jamie Passman providing technical support and musical accompaniment. And thank you sincerely to our musicians and others who have contributed to this service.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place.
Good morning, friends. It's time to find out what the tool of our week is. So let's open up our toolbox. And this week, it's a magnifying glass. Now, this is a very tiny one, but it represents something very important. And that's the value that Unitarian Universalists place on questioning and looking more closely and deeply at issues. One of our rainbow principles says we yearn to learn about ourselves and others, and there's no better way to symbolize that than with a magnifying glass. So I hope you have time this week to listen to the story and to go out into the world, use your magnifying glass, and look at things more deeply and closely, and question and learn together. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week. Love you, miss you. Take care.
You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about your despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and deep trees, and mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. No matter who you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over announcing your place in the family of things.
This exercise draws on a guided meditation created by researcher Emma Seppala, Science Director of Stanford University Center for Compassion and Altruism Research and Education. Close your eyes. Sit comfortably with your feet flat on the floor and your spine straight. Relax your whole body. Keep your eyes closed throughout the whole visualization and bring your awareness inward. Without straining or concentrating, just relax and gently follow the instructions. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Receiving loving kindness. Keeping your eyes closed, think of a person close to you who loves you very much. It could be someone from the past or the present, someone still in life or who has passed. It could be a spiritual teacher or guide. Imagine that person standing on your right side, sending you their love. That person is sending you wishes for your safety, for your well-being and happiness. Feel the warm wishes and love coming from that person towards you. Now bring to mind the same person or another person who cherishes you deeply. Imagine that person standing on your left side, sending you wishes for your wellness, for your health and happiness. Feel the kindness and warmth coming to you from that person. Now imagine that you are surrounded on all sides by all the people who love you and have loved you. Picture all of your friends and loved ones surrounding you. They are standing, sending you wishes for your happiness, well-being, and health. Bask in the warm wishes and love coming from all sides. You are filled and overflowing with warmth and love. Sending loving kindness to loved ones. Now bring your awareness back to the person standing on your right side. Begin to send the love that you feel back to that person. You and this person are similar. Just like you, this person wishes to be happy. Send all your love and warm wishes to that person. Repeat the following phrases silently. May you live with ease. May you be happy. May you be free from pain. May you live with ease. May you be happy. May you be free from pain. May you live with ease. May you be happy. May you be free from pain. Now focus your awareness on the person standing on your left side. Begin to direct the love within you to that person. Send all your love and warmth to that person. That person and you are alike. Just like you, that person wishes to have a good life. Repeat the following phrases silently. Just as I wish to, may you be safe. May you be healthy. May you live with ease and happiness. Just as I wish to, may you be safe. May you be healthy. May you live with ease and happiness. Just as I wish to, may you be safe. May you be healthy. May you live with ease and happiness. Now picture another person that you love, perhaps a relative or a friend. This person, like you, wishes to have a happy life. Send warm wishes to that person. Repeat the following phrases silently. May your life be filled with happiness, health, and well-being. May your life be filled with happiness, health, and well-being. May your life be filled with happiness, health, and well-being. Sending loving kindness to neutral people. Now think of an acquaintance, someone you don't know very well, and toward whom you do not have any particular feeling. You and this person are alike in your wish to have a good life. Send all your wishes for well-being to that person, repeating the following phrases silently. Just as I wish to, may you also live with ease and happiness. Just as I wish to, may you also live with ease and happiness. Just as I wish to, may you also live with ease and happiness. Now bring to mind another acquaintance towards whom you feel neutral. It could be a neighbor or a colleague, or someone that you see around but do not know very well. Like you, the person wishes to experience joy and well-being in his or her life. Send all your good wishes to that person, repeating the following phrases silently. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free from all pain. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free from all pain. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free from all pain. Sending loving kindness to all beings. Now expand your awareness and picture the whole globe in front of you as a little ball. Send warm wishes to all living beings on the globe who, like you, want to be happy. Just as I wish to, may you live with ease, happiness, and good health. Just as I wish to, may you live with ease, happiness, and good health. Just as I wish to, may you live with ease, happiness, and good health. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. And another deep breath in and let it go. Notice the state of your mind and how you feel after this meditation. When you're ready, you may open your eyes.
Hi, Kay Mooney here with the Unitarian Universalist Advocacy Network of Illinois. UUANI powers the social justice work of congregations. We provide people across Illinois with advocacy and legislative leadership to effectively build community and power to promote justice and a healthy planet. We bring social justice into the heart of the spiritual life of congregations and develop ways for church communities to live our UU principles. We help bridge communities and congregations and align spirituality with tangible actions to affect change. Since 2013, we have worked to ensure that those pieces of legislation that are near and dear to you, those places where you know you want to see change within the world, are at your fingertips. We've worked with organizations like Faith in Place and ICER, the Illinois Coalition of Immigrant and Refugee Rights, to make sure that we know about the legislation that's going into the Illinois Legislative House and Senate, and so that you can act on that legislation as you wish, and so that you can get down to Springfield when it's possible to be able to talk to your legislators and ensure that they know how you feel about the bills that they are working on. This year, one of the more important things that we have worked on is to help congregations get out the vote. Voting this year is so important, and it's what's most important about it to us is that people vote not out of a sense of hate or a sense of fear, but out of a sense of love. What is it that draws us forward into the world and demands that we act as our principles encourage us to? How do we live so that compassion that we feel enables us to work for equity and justice? This year, with 400 other volunteers around the state in congregations just like yours, we have been able to write 8 letters to the editor that got published. We got 448 people registered to vote. We've contacted over 1,000 people in text and phone banks. We've hosted over 1,350 people at 100 different events. We've posted to social media over 3,600 times. We've sent over 25,000 postcards and letters, and that number is still growing. We actually organized or helped to organize the delivery of 500,000 postcards around the country with postcards to swing states. We are out there in the streets with signs reminding people what matters. Vote. You matter. You are essential. We are in our homes with pens, writing people to make sure that they know the same. Our goal at UUANI is to help you advocate for substantive change in those areas that you care about. We thank you for your support, and we thank you that you will help us to keep this dream of an equitable world built on compassion that demands justice with us. I hope that you will give what you can. Whatever amount it is, consider it a blessing to us. Thank you for your support, and thank you for this time. As President Obama reminded us in his Nobel acceptance speech, for all the cruelty and hardship in our world, we are not prisoners of fate. Our actions matter and will bend history in the direction of justice. Bend with me, folks. Bend that arc of history. Thank you for your support.
Hi, I'm Bob Daniel Wayman, serving on the board of the Unitarian Church of Hinsdale. This is the time in our service when we remember the good things this church does in the world and invites you to help support our work. You can go to our website, www.hinsdaleunitarian.org, and click on the donate button, or you can simply send your check to the church office. Now, even though we can't be together right now, I invite you to say our offering words together. This church is made up of all of us. It is what we learn together, the work we do together, the fun we have together. It is what we share with one another, with the people around us, and with all the world.
Emotional intelligence has been a buzz phrase in corporate and psychological territories for a long time. What does it mean, though? Few of us have an actual understanding of what elements make up emotional intelligence. It's just something we hear from day to day. Daniel Goleman, the original author of the book Emotional Intelligence, defines it in 5 ways. Someone with emotional intelligence has self-regulation, or the ability to regulate their own emotions. Self-perspective, or the ability to have insight into their own behaviors, attitudes, thoughts, actions. Motivation, social skills, and empathy. It is this last trait of empathy that we are going to focus on for this service, specifically empathy and leadership. Now, leadership can be defined in lots of different ways. Brené Brown, in her book Dare to Lead, defines leadership as not about titles, status, and wielding power. A leader is anyone who takes responsibility for recognizing the potential in people and ideas and has the courage to develop that potential. So many of us in our day-to-day lives are leaders in some capacity. It is also important to recognize whether leaders in our businesses or our politicians have empathy for others. Empathy is such an important skill for leadership that a lack of it can cause many issues within a corporation or country. So, why do we want to be empathic? Empathy is our ability to understand other people, their feelings, their perspectives. There is a feelings component of it, an emotional component, where we think about how the other person is feeling and label their emotions. And there's a cognitive component, where we take their perspective of the situation, try to see things through their eyes. Now, of course, we can never do this completely. So part of this work is really being aware of our own lenses and how we come at the world. And when we look at other people, such as political leaders, where do they come from? What lens do they see the world from? Are they able to identify that lens? For example, the lens of being male or white or born in a certain generation, or the lens of growing up in the city versus a suburbs or the country. These are all things that impact our perspectives. We can never fully shed them, but being aware of them helps us to see how they impact us and helps us to see from other people's perspectives. So empathy is important because it allows us to connect with other people. Here's a short Brené Brown video that explains this a little bit better with some pretty cute animation.
So what is empathy and why is it very different than sympathy? Empathy fuels connection. Sympathy drives disconnection. Empathy, it's very interesting. Teresa Wiseman is a nursing scholar who studied professions, very diverse professions where empathy is relevant, and came up with 4 qualities of empathy. Perspective taking, the ability to take the perspective of another person or recognize their perspective as their truth. Staying out of judgment, not easy when you enjoy it as much as most of us do. Recognizing emotion in other people and then communicating that. Empathy is feeling with people. And to me, I always think of empathy as this kind of sacred space when someone's kind of in a deep hole and they shout out from the bottom and they say, I'm stuck, it's dark, I'm overwhelmed. And then we look and we say, hey, climb down. I know what it's like down here and you're not alone. Sympathy is, ooh, it's bad, no, you want a sandwich? Empathy is a choice, and it's a vulnerable choice, because in order to connect with you, I have to connect with something in myself that knows that feeling. Rarely, if ever, does an empathic response begin with at least. And we do it all the time, because you know what? Someone just shared something with us that's incredibly painful, and we're trying to silver lining it. I don't think that's a verb, but I'm using it as one. We're trying to put the silver lining around it. So I had a miscarriage. Oh, at least you know you can get pregnant. I think my marriage is falling apart. At least you have a marriage. John's getting kicked out of school. At least Sarah is an A student. But one of the things we do sometimes in the face of very difficult conversations is we try to make things better. If I share something with you that's very difficult, I'd rather you say, I don't even know what to say right now. I'm just so glad you told me. Because the truth is, rarely can a response make something better. What makes something better is connection.
Many people might perceive empathy or showing empathy as a leader as weakness. And in fact, it does require a certain level of vulnerability. We have to be able to get into the weeds with other people in order to understand their perspective. We have to have boundaries, of course, and keep ourselves safe and engage in self-care. But at the end of the day, vulnerability is a big part of empathy. And some people are always going to see that as weakness. As wholehearted people, we can see it as a way to live our values in the world. That when we try to understand someone else's perspective, when we try to see things through their eyes, it only allows us to become better people. And it is not weak to feel with someone else and to share that emotional human connection with them. So what does this mean for us as Unitarians? I think most Unitarian Universalists would consider themselves to have a lot of empathy. I think it is important to engage in self-reflection regarding empathy. I think that the work of dismantling white supremacy and dismantling, sexist and racist notions really helps us to examine our own lenses and how we look at the world. And to realize that sometimes what we may perceive as empathy might actually be sympathy or pity for someone else. We really need to be aware of how we are practicing empathy in the world and how our leaders are practicing empathy in the world. One leader who has been especially lauded for her ability to use empathy in a manner that has been successful for her country is the Prime Minister of New Zealand. Here she speaks about using empathy and how she uses it in a way to connect with those who she leads.
It takes courage and strength to be empathetic. And I'm very proudly an empathetic, compassionately driven politician. Thank you so much for making time for us today. I really appreciate it. I've made a very deliberate decision that in the Westminster style of politics that we have in New Zealand, which is very adversarial, that there is a place for us to still push back a little bit on that. I've always said that it takes courage and strength to be empathetic. And I'm very proudly an empathetic, compassionate, driven politician. We teach kindness and empathy and compassion to our children, but then we somehow, when it comes to political leadership, want a complete absence of that. So I am trying to chart a different path that will attract critics, but I can only be true to myself in the form of leadership that I believe in. So now it's a global market, and with that comes, I think, a little bit of fear of job security, fear around whether or not your children will have the same opportunities that you had. And so our response as political leaders can either be twofold. We can capitalize on that fear by blaming others and saying that the answer is to become more and more insular, to become protectionist, to build up those walls around us so that we can retreat back to yesteryear. The alternative for us is actually to give a message of hope so that actually we can provide for our domestic constituencies. You can expect to have decent healthcare, decent education and a roof over your head. And we can provide that job security if we plan for for the future, and if we choose not to blame. And so I put myself firmly in that constituency. We have a responsibility as politicians in the language that we use, but also the policies that we provide and the hope that we deliver.
In the video, the Prime Minister of New Zealand talks about empathic, compassionate leadership. And she points out many things that need to be considered when we talk about empathy. The first thing that needs to be considered when we talk about empathy is boundaries. Sometimes when we feel with others, we can get caught up in their experiences. We can feel their emotions so strongly that we disregard our own, and we feel despair. Hope is a necessary component of empathy. We have to feel hopeful. We have to feel that we can actually help someone. If we despair as well, then we climb down into that dark hole with them without any ladder or light, and we are both lost. Another important element of empathy is the idea of compassion. Compassion is empathy in action. It's important to feel with others and to see their perspective. But if we don't plan to do something about it, if we don't plan to help in some way, then our empathy is empty. Now, sometimes there's nothing we can do. Sometimes empathy means sitting with someone who is suffering and in pain and just letting them know that we're there for them. But there are other times where there is a clear path towards justice. And it is incumbent on us as Unitarian Universalists to take that path. Compassion means working towards a more just and fair world. So empathy and compassion drive us to do the work of a just and fair world. We are all leaders in some capacity. I ask you today to reflect on what areas of your life you lead. Are you a parent or a grandparent? An employer? Do you lead a small group of people in prayer or in consideration and meditation every week? Is there some way in which you influence the world? And you can make sure that empathy and compassion are part of that influence. Today's sermon is about leadership and empathy, but it's really about all of us. It's about learning to use empathy as a skill in the world so that we can better move the world towards justice and peace. People who feel connected to and understood are more likely to behave in compassionate and kind ways. We model for the world who we want to be and what we want the world to be. One of my favorite quotes is something that I had as a child from school. I had a little picture of myself as a child, and it was a poem called "Children Learn What They Live." And you know, we all learn what we live. That's just the way that it goes. So I'm going to read this for you now. If children live with criticism, they learn to condemn. If children live with hostility, they learn to fight. If children live with fear, they learn to be apprehensive. If children live with pity, they learn to feel sorry for themselves. If children live with ridicule, they learn to feel shy. If children live with jealousy, they learn to feel envy. If children live with shame, they learn to feel guilty. If children live with encouragement, they learn confidence. If children live with tolerance, they learn patience. If children live with praise, they learn appreciation. If children live with acceptance, they learn to love. If children live with approval, they learn to like themselves. If children live with recognition, they learn it is good to have a goal. If children live with sharing, they learn generosity. If children live with honesty, they learn truthfulness. If children live with fairness, they learn justice. If children live with kindness and consideration, they learn respect. If children live with security, they learn to have faith in themselves and in those about them. If children live with friendliness, they learn the place is a nice place. The world is a nice place in which to live. This is true for all of us, not just children. If we live in a world where people show us empathy and compassion, and we show others empathy and compassion, then the world will become a better place, day by day, moment by moment.
We'll build a land where we bind up the broken. We'll build a land where the captives go free, where the oil of gladness dissolves all mourning. Oh, we'll build a promised land that can be. Come, build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll build a land where we bring the good tidings to all the afflicted and all those who mourn, and we'll give them garlands instead of ashes. Oh, we'll build a land where peace is born. Come, build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of its truth, the warmth of this community, nor the fire of our commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world.
I would like to extend a special thank you to my sons, Alex and Ben Dvorak, for their assistance with this service. Alex especially put in many hours editing and producing the videos that you've seen today. I'd like to close with some favorite words from Reverend Ed Searle. May you sometimes find the world to be so beautiful that you want it to be more so, more often, for more persons. Amen, and blessed be.
Farmer John wandered back when he reached the pumpkin patch, began to speak. Said the weather's getting colder, summer's over and it's almost high. The week, that's the day, reason you were raised. Everything about your life will change. You'll have eyes to see, and for that night you'll be a bright lamp burning in the dark. Remember that candle shine only the briefest time in a jack-o'-lantern heart. Pumpkins held a meeting then, Some were very apprehensive and afraid. Could this really happen to us? What could be the meaning is what they were saying. This is home, it's all we've ever known. Then one bold, outspoken pumpkin spoke. Said, I don't need eyes to see. Sounds like a lie to me. I could just find here in John's garden. Remember that candle shine, only the briefest time in a jack-o'-lantern's heart. There is much to us to ponder in the pumpkin patch when in old October shows up at and a pumpkin from the farther end had been silent up to then. Over the commotion said, what would you rather have, my friend? Chance to shine, die here on the vine. The better way seems very plain to me. You have eyes to see, for that night will be bright lamp burning dark. Maybe that candle shine, only the briefest time in a jack-o'-lantern's heart. Oh, the one goblin smile should make it all well worthwhile. Though you might even see the starlight. Knowing that time is brief makes it that much more sweet. You have a jack-o'-lantern heart. You have a jack-o'-lantern heart. La 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 la.